morning, students. Today you have to discuss cyclotron. Some typical points are there. You should understand. Already you have got the notes and you have read it once again. I think. Just the typical points. Just I want to discuss it here. What are the important points are there? Number one, the cyclotron is a device. It is used to accelerate the charge particle. It is used to accelerate the charge particles like protons, deuterons, alpha particles. Like that, particles should be accelerated. And as and when they will be accelerated, they'll attain more and more kinetic energy. And whenever they are striking with the heavy atoms, or that gives rise to the different nuclear reactions. The principle, what is the principle of that cyclotron? So what happens here? Cyclotron, the principle is that here we are using the two field. One is the electric field, high frequency oscillator electric field, another magnetic field. Both the magnetic field, north and south pole, are providing the uniform magnetic field. Means that the principle is that whenever the charge particle is allowed to move in both electric and magnetic field, it gets accelerated. On that principle, when the charge particle will be allowed to move in both electric and magnetic field. So what is this the principle? How it works and what is the actual construction? You just to imagine it. Actually, that is the two D's are there. D's means to tell actually D-shaped chamber. This is D-shaped chamber, and in between the gap is there. It is D-shaped chamber and it is hollow also. Just hollow, so that the charge particle will be moving inside the D's. The charge particle will be moving inside these D's, and you must have if you go through the website, you can search for the Large Hadron Collider. Large Hadron Collider is being designed that the radius of that Large Hadron Collider is 27 kilometer. You may go and you may search for that also. You can go through that on what is the Large Hadron Collider. That is based upon that cyclotron principle. These are the D's. These are the hollow chamber. In between one gap is there. I think clear. And the two D's are connected to the high frequency oscillator. That means electric field. High frequency oscillator, why are we using that one? Because of AC, alternating. It always changes the polarity continuously. D1 will be positive, D2 negative. And the next cycle, that is D2 will be positive and D1 will be negative. In that manner, the polarity, the high frequency oscillator changes. Means the electric field changes its polarity continuously by help of the high frequency oscillator. And north and south pole, that is providing the magnetic field. It is giving you the magnetic field. That is the magnetic field. So in between the gap, the charge particle is produced. Suppose the positive charge particle is produced in between the cyclotron. What will happen? Whenever this charge particle will come out, one by one charge particle will be coming out. And in this case, if D2 is plus and D1 is minus, negative. So what will happen? This is the plus charge. This is the plus charge, and D2 becomes plus due to the high frequency oscillator. And that charge will be pushed into the D1 because plus it will repel. So the charge particle pushed into D1 chamber, D1, and D1 and in D2. The important thing is that within the D's, that is told as the D's, within the D's, the magnetic field is maintained, and within the gap, electric field is maintained. So here the charge particle will be pushed by the electric field and will enter into the D1, and where the magnetic field is there, and that charge particle enter into the magnetic field perpendicularly, normal to that of the magnetic field. I think clear? Normal to the magnetic field. As and when the charge particle is entered into the magnetic field normally or perpendicularly, what you know in previously that force acting on a charge particle when it is fired perpendicular to that of the magnetic field, that is QBB sin theta, and the maximum force will be experienced on that charge particle, and the charge particle will be moving in a circular path. So the charge particle, as it is entered into the magnetic field normally, it will move in a circular path. So immediately it gets a rotation, moves in a circular path, and it it just rotates in half semicircular, one semicircular. It moves like that, and again it comes to the gap. Again it comes to the gap. And when the charge particle is coming to the gap, within that period, the D and D2, the polarity must be changed. Means D1 becomes positive and D2 negative. So previously D2 was positive and D1 was negative. And when the charge particle makes a semicircle and comes to the gap, at the same time D1 becomes positive, D2 becomes negative. And as the D1 is positive, again the charge particle will be pushed into D2. Pushed into D2. And here the D2 magnetic field is there, and there it makes a semicircle. Again it makes a semicircle and comes to the gap. Within that period, D2 will be positive, D1 will be negative. Again it moves in this D1. And in this manner, the charge particle is pushed into the D1 and D2 Ds by help of the electric field, and by help of the magnetic field, the charge particle will be rotated in the semicircle and again comes to gap. In this manner, the charge particle gains more and more kinetic energy and moves in a circular path inside the cyclotron. So whenever we feel that the charge particle is already have acquired the sufficient energy, so we can take it out through the window and target and hit any target, and to get the nuclear reaction, different type of reactions. Here now, what are the theories here? Whenever it is moving, what are the centripetal force? The centripetal force mv square upon r equal to qbb, that thing you know it. And the radius r equal to, how much will be the radius? Radius equal to mba by qb. If you cut it here, the radius you are finding mba by qb. And what is the time period? That is 2 pi m upon qb, that is the time period. And frequency, what is the frequency? That is qb by 2 pi m is the frequency. And the angular frequency you are finding, the angular frequency equal to qb by m. That is the angular frequency. So the angular frequency of the charge particle will be qb by m. It's very clear that the angular frequency doesn't depend upon the radius and the velocity of the charge particle. Radius and velocity of the charge particle. Frequency will be the same. For example, I am telling you one example. Suppose here all the bodies are being rotated. Here one body, 2, 3 and 4. If all are rotating, moving around a pole like that, so what will find it? For the last body, if you think for the last body, last object, this is moving with greater, moving in a circle of greater radius, and not only the speed of the velocity of this last particle will be more, but and gradually if you move down here, the radius is small and the velocity is less. But one thing is common for all the bodies. What are the common things? Common thing is that the frequency or the angular frequency for all the objects will be the same, provided the frequency, angular frequency, because it takes the same time to rotate a complete cycle, it also takes the same time to complete a rotation. So for all the bodies, the frequency remains the same, but the speed and the radius will be different. And the same manner, what will happen whenever the particles are moving here, as and when they attain more and more velocity, so immediately their radius gradually increases, and that means it attains the maximum radius and with the maximum velocity, and means too we can tell it attains the maximum kinetic energy. So what is the kinetic energy? The kinetic energy equal half mv square, energy gain, that is half m. What is the v square? V, you know it, equal to, from here this equation you can get the v. So v equal, you are finding here v equal to qb r upon m. So v equal to qb r upon m. So if you put it for the v square, you can find it q square b square r square upon m square, and finally the kinetic energy equal to q square b square r square upon 2m. The particle which attains the maximum kinetic energy in the cyclotron. So what are the advantages actually? Advantages and disadvantages. We cannot use the electron to be the accelerating particle, because of electron, the mass of the electron is very less. As and when they are projected in the cyclotron, they will attain immediately the high speed, and which the frequency of the rotation of the electron will not be synchronizing with the frequency of the oscillator. This is a high frequency oscillator frequency. The particle whenever which one is moving, that the frequency of that accelerator particle must be synchronized with that frequency of the oscillator. Otherwise, that particle will be striking on the cyclotron and will be destroyed. This is all about the cyclotron. We will go through the notes clearly one by one. If any doubt, you may ask. Thank you.